Once upon a time, in a small town called Maplewood, there lived a mischievous little puppy named Max. Max was a golden retriever with a heart full of curiosity and a spirit of adventure. He lived with his loving family, the Johnsons, who adored him dearly. As Halloween approached, the town of Maplewood buzzed with excitement. The streets were adorned with spooky decorations, and children eagerly prepared their costumes for a night of trick-or-treating. Max, being a curious pup, couldn't help but wonder what all the fuss was about. One evening, as the Johnsons were busy carving pumpkins, Max's eyes sparkled with curiosity. He wagged his tail and barked, trying to get their attention. Mrs. Johnson, noticing Max's excitement, smiled and said, "Oh, Max, I think you're ready for your first Halloween adventure." Max's tail wagged even faster, and he jumped up and down with joy. Mrs. Johnson quickly fashioned a small cape out of an old sheet and placed it gently on Max's back. Max felt like a superhero, ready to conquer the world. As the sun began to set, Max and the Johnsons set off on their Halloween adventure. The streets were filled with children dressed as witches, superheroes, and ghosts. Max's eyes widened with wonder as he saw the colorful costumes and heard the laughter and excitement in the air. Suddenly, Max caught a whiff of something delicious. His nose led him to a house with a giant cauldron filled with candy. Max's tail wagged furiously as he watched children approach the house and receive handfuls of treats. He couldn't resist joining in on the fun. With a burst of energy, Max dashed towards the house, his cape fluttering behind him. The Johnsons, surprised by Max's sudden burst of speed, chased after him, calling his name. Max, however, was too focused on the candy to pay attention. As Max reached the house, he saw a group of children dressed as pirates. They were laughing and sharing their candy with each other. Max, feeling brave, approached the group and wagged his tail, hoping to be included. The children were delighted to see Max and quickly shared their treats with him. Max's tail wagged even faster as he tasted his first Halloween candy. It was a sweet and chewy delight that made him want more. Just as Max was about to indulge in another piece of candy, he heard a familiar voice calling his name. It was Mr. Johnson, who had finally caught up with him. Max's ears drooped, realizing he had wandered off too far. Feeling guilty, Max followed Mr. Johnson back to the Johnson's side. Mrs. Johnson gently scolded Max, reminding him to stay close next time. Max, understanding his mistake, wagged his tail apologetically. As the night went on, Max and the Johnsons continued their Halloween adventure. They visited houses, met friendly neighbors, and collected a bag full of candy. Max, now more cautious, stayed close to his family, enjoying the sights and sounds of the spooky night. When they finally returned home, Max was exhausted but happy. He had experienced his first Halloween adventure and learned an important lesson about staying close to his family. As he curled up in his cozy bed, Max dreamt of future adventures, knowing that there was always something exciting waiting just around the corner. And so, the mischievous little puppy, Max, lived happily ever after, always ready for the next adventure that awaited him.